One fighter jet has never lost a single air-to-air battle, ever. Another racked up over 700 kills in 3 years. One was so feared, enemy pilots refused to take off when it was in the sky. These are not movie plots. These are real records, earned in real wars by real pilots. 10 fighter jets, ranked by actual kills. No opinions, no simulations, just the cold, hard numbers from the history book. Let's get into it. Introduction. When people argue about the best fighter jet in the world, most of the time they are talking about top speed, radar systems, and weapons load. All of that matters. But there is only one way to truly settle the argument, and that is the kill record. How many enemy aircraft did it actually shoot down? In real combat, against real opposition. If you are a proud supporter of American air power and the men and women who fly these incredible machines, drop a US air power in the comments right now. Let's see how many of you are with us. Number 10, the MiG-29. We start our list with a Soviet-built machine that gave American pilots a very rude awakening. The MiG-29 entered combat during the Vietnam War in the mid-1960s. On paper, it looked like an easy target. It was older technology. It was slower than the American jets it faced. US pilots flying supersonic aircraft should have had no trouble with it, except they did. The MiG-29 was incredibly agile at low speeds. When American F-4 Phantoms came in fast and tried to use missiles, the MiG-29 could turn tight and force the engagement into a close-range knife fight. Exactly the kind of fight the Phantom was not designed for. The little MiG racked up over 67 confirmed kills during the war. More than that, it forced the US military to completely rethink its fighter tactics and eventually led to the creation of the famous Top Gun program. Sometimes, the smaller, slower plane changes the game entirely. Number 9. The F-16 Fighting Falcon. Coming in at number 9 is one of the most versatile American-built fighters ever made. The F-16 Fighting Falcon has been in service since the late 1970s. It has been flown by the U.S. Air Force and over 24 allied nations around the world. Compact, fast, and incredibly maneuverable, it has earned its kills in multiple real-world conflicts. The bulk of the F-16's confirmed air-to-air kills came through Israeli Air Force operations in the early 1980s during engagements over Lebanon. The F-16 also saw combat during the Gulf War, the Balkans conflict, and operations in the Middle East. Total confirmed kill count sits at around 76. That number may sound modest compared to what is coming later on this list, but here is the important thing. The F-16 has never stopped being relevant. It is still flying today, still being upgraded, and still being exported to allied nations as a frontline combat aircraft. Before we go any further, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel right now. It costs you nothing. Hit that button and let's keep going. Number 8, the McDonnell Douglas F-15 Eagle. Now here is where things start getting serious. The F-15 Eagle officially holds 104 confirmed air-to-air kills with 0 losses. 0. In over 50 years of combat operations, not a single F-15 has ever been shot down by an enemy fighter. Let that sit for a second. The F-15 first flew in the early 1970s, designed specifically in response to what American pilots faced over Vietnam. The Air Force wanted a dedicated air superiority machine, something built for one purpose only: killing enemy aircraft. No compromises. More than half of the F-15's kills were scored by Israeli Air Force pilots, with the bulk of those coming during the 1982 Lebanon air campaign. U.S. Air Force pilots added more kills during Operation Desert Storm in 1991, when F-15s downed 34 Iraqi aircraft in a matter of days. Now, you may be wondering why the F-15 is at number 8 if it has such a perfect record. The answer is simple. On this list, we are ranking by total confirmed kill count. There are aircraft above the F-15 that have simply shot down more planes because they flew in bigger wars for more nations over longer periods of time. But make no mistake, kill for kill, the F-15 Eagle is the most dominant air superiority fighter ever built. No other jet has that record. And in April of 2026, an F-15 was brought down over Iran, but not by another fighter. It was hit by a surface-to-air missile. The air-to-air record, still untouched. Number 7, the Grumman F-14 Tomcat. At number 7, we have the fighter that became a cultural icon and a true combat beast. Most Americans know the F-14 Tomcat from the 1986 movie Top Gun. What most people do not know is that the Tomcat's most impressive kill record came not from US Navy pilots, but from Iran. Before the Iranian Revolution in 1979, the US had sold F-14s to the Shah of Iran. When the Iran-Iraq War started in 1980, those Iranian F-14s went to work, armed with the extraordinary AIM-54 Phoenix missile, a weapon that could hit targets over 100 miles away. Iranian Tomcats absolutely dominated Iraqi aircraft. Iraqi pilots became so terrified of the F-14 that many refused to fly missions when they knew Tomcats were in the area. The F-14's total confirmed kill record stands at around 135. That is a massive tally for an aircraft that was primarily a naval interceptor. The U.S. Navy's own F-14s added kills during Gulf of Sidra incidents against Libya in the 1980s. The Tomcat was retired by the U.S. Navy in 2006. It was one of the most capable and feared fighters of the Cold War era. Number 6, the Dassault Mirage 3. Number 6 on our list is a French-built jet that became one of the most combat-proven fighters in the world, not in the hands of the French, but primarily through Israel. The Mirage 3 entered service in the early 1960s. The Israeli Air Force adopted it and turned it into a killing machine. During the Six-Day War of 1967, the Yom Kippur War of 1973, and multiple clashes in between, Israeli Mirage pilots accumulated kill after kill against Soviet-supplied Arab air forces. Confirmed kill estimates for the Mirage 3 and its variants range from 200 to 400. The wide range exists because some Israeli claims from this era are difficult to independently verify. Both sides in those conflicts had reasons to inflate or deflate the numbers. What is beyond debate is that the Mirage 3 made Israel one of the most feared air powers in the world during the 1960s and 70s. It is a remarkable legacy for a jet that was built in France and never intended to fight those particular wars. Number 5, the MiG-29. Here is one that might surprise you. The MiG-29 is a Soviet-designed fighter that first flew in the late 1950s. It was fast, lightweight, and produced in enormous numbers, over 11,000 built in total, making it one of the most widely manufactured jet fighters in history. It served in the air forces of over 60 nations across Asia, Africa, the Middle East, and beyond. With that kind of reach, the kill count adds up fast. The MiG-29 racked up kills in the Vietnam War, the India-Pakistan Wars, the Arab-Israeli conflicts, the Iran-Iraq War, and various conflicts across Africa. Conservative estimates put its total confirmed kills at somewhere between 240 and 300. Here is the twist though. The MiG-29 did not just kill, it also got killed. American and Israeli pilots shot down enormous numbers of MiG-29s over the years. It is an aircraft that was deadly when flown by skilled pilots in favorable conditions, but often outclassed when it faced well-trained Western opponents. Still, the sheer volume of combat it saw across the globe puts it firmly in the top 5. Number 4, the F-4 Phantom II. At number 4, we have one of the most important American fighter jets ever built. The F-4 Phantom II entered service in the early 1960s. It served with the U.S. Air Force, the U.S. Navy, and the U.S. Marine Corps. It was also sold to 11 other nations, including Israel, West Germany, Japan, and South Korea. It was fast, the first U.S. aircraft capable of flying at twice the speed of sound, and it carried more firepower than some World War II heavy bombers. In Vietnam, the F-4 was the primary American fighter. U.S. Air Force F-4s scored 137 air-to-air kills during the war. The Navy added more. Israeli F-4s tore through Arab air forces in multiple conflicts. Iranian F-4s got into the fight during the Iran-Iraq War. Total confirmed kills across all operators land somewhere around 300 or above, making the Phantom one of the highest-scoring Western jet fighters in history. The Phantom also produced the last confirmed jet aces of the 20th century. Captain Charles de Bellevue, a weapons systems officer flying with the U.S. Air Force over Vietnam, scored 6 confirmed kills, more than any other American pilot of the jet age at that time. The F-4 was not pretty, it was not elegant, but it got the job done on every continent and in nearly every major conflict of the Cold War era. Number 3, the North American F-86 Sabri. We are in the top 3 now, and the numbers are about to get serious. The F-86 Sabri was America's answer to the Soviet MiG-29 during the Korean War, which ran from 1950 to 1953. When MiG-15s appeared over Korea and started dominating American straight-wing jets, the Air Force rushed the Sabri into combat. What followed became one of the most intense fighter-versus-fighter campaigns in aviation history. A stretch of airspace above North Korea that pilots called MiG Alley. The Saber's official kill record against MiG-15s stands at 792 confirmed kills against only 78 losses. That is a kill ratio of roughly 10-1. Some historians put the true ratio somewhat lower after accounting for both sides' records, but even the most conservative estimates give the Saber a decisive edge. The F-86 produced the last generation of American gun kill aces. Captain Joseph McConnell Jr. became the top American ace of the Korean War with 16 confirmed kills. These were pilots who had to close within gun range of the enemy. No radar-guided missiles, no fire-and-forget weapons, pure flying, pure marksmanship. 792 kills puts the Saber among the most lethal jet fighters ever deployed, and it did it all in just 3 years of combat. Number 2, the MiG-15. This one will raise some eyebrows, but the numbers do not lie. The MiG-15 was the Soviet Union's answer to the new age of jet warfare. It entered combat over Korea in late 1950 and immediately shocked UN forces. Its swept wings and powerful engine allowed it to outclimb and outrun most everything the West had at the time. For a period in late 1950 and early 1951, it owned the skies over North Korea. The MiG-15 went on to serve in dozens of air forces worldwide. It fought in the Middle East. It fought in Africa. It was used in conflicts across Asia. Over its full service life, flown by many different nations, the MiG-15 accumulated kills across multiple wars and continents. Combined with the pure volume of its combat use globally, total MiG-15 kills across all conflicts and all operators stretch well into the hundreds. And in Korea specifically, despite ultimately losing the kill ratio battle against the Saber, MiG-15 pilots still downed 78 American Sabres and many other aircraft types, a real and serious contribution to the record books. It is not a comfortable thing to put a Soviet aircraft at number 2 on this list. But we promised real numbers, and the real numbers put the MiG-15 here. Number 1, the Messerschmitt Me-262. Number 1 on this list is not American, it is not Soviet, it is German, and it changed the entire history of aviation forever. The Messerschmitt Me-262 was the world's first operational jet-powered fighter aircraft. Not a prototype, not a testbed, an actual combat machine, flying real missions, shooting down real aircraft, while every other nation in the world was still fighting with propeller-driven planes. It entered combat in the spring of 1944, and from the moment it appeared in the skies over Europe, Allied pilots had never seen anything like it. It flew at 559 miles per hour, over 100 miles per hour faster than any Allied piston fighter could match. Allied bomber gunners could not even swing their guns fast enough to track it. It came in, fired, and was gone before anyone could react. Its 430mm cannons were devastating. 3 hits from those guns could bring down a B-17 Flying Fortress, one of the toughest aircraft the U.S. Army Air Forces ever put in the sky. By the time Germany surrendered in May of 1945, Me-262 pilots had been credited with over 500 confirmed kills, with some authoritative estimates putting the real total closer to 735. All of that in less than a year of combat operations, under constant Allied attack, with chronic fuel shortages, engine problems, and a war that was already lost around them. The Me-262 also holds a unique place in history because it directly fathered the jets that came after it. When the war ended, both the United States and the Soviet Union rushed to capture Me-262 technology and study its swept-wing, twin-engine design. What they learned went directly into the development of the F-86 Sabre and the MiG-15, the 2 aircraft that fought each other over Korea just a few years later, the world's first jet fighter. Over 500 kills in less than a year, and the blueprint for every combat aircraft that followed. Conclusion: 10 jets, decades of real combat, real kills, real history. From the F-16 at number 9, to the unstoppable F-15 with its perfect record, to the Messerschmitt Me-262 staggering 2,000 kills at the top, every single aircraft on this list earned its place the hard way. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe. We have a lot more of this coming your way. We will see you in the next one.